Welcome to a quick video here, just to introduce you to the termination kit feature or accessory that we sell with our STEPScope. This is not strictly a calibration kit. As you know, calibration kits can cost the price of this entire instrument. But these are very high-end terminations that come on chain links so that we can keep track of them, and it's a complete set differential. So that with this one kit, you can easily keep track of all the terminations you need to be able to make measurements. In addition to two male and female shorts and terminations, there's also a set of very nice through 2.92 millimeter through connections that are used here too. This is for those people doing transmission measurements, where you have to go through a device. So this gives you a sense. For example, if I was using my STEPScope here, let me bring this STEPScope up in a screen, and I wanted to open up and perform a termination. I need to do, for example, calibrate a short. Let me maybe move that aside. I would attach a short. The short with this termination would be this guy here, and so I could connect that short up and press a run, okay, and it would go about making the measurement with that short. Then once the short is done, it would ask me to apply a termination. I can then come in here and replace the termination. Terminations are also part of the kit. For that sex, I would use this one right here and connect that. I'm only doing single-ended measurements here, so I actually have the second connector just terminated here. So I would run a termination calibration. It would run through this calibration. And once that's done, I'd be ready to measure a dot, for example. Maybe here's a simple dot I might have where I have a trace and a printed circuit board. So I would then take off my termination. I have a sex problem there, so I would apply that adapter. The adapter is now after my reference plane, and connect this up. And now I could press my single button here and actually make a TDR measurement on my view. If I was to pan that down, for example, I can look at that. I can zoom in on just that action by either grabbing the zoom control here, for example this, and just drag this to the right and let go, and it will remeasure. Or I can pan and again bring that up on the screen, let go, and it'll make it. Inevitably, customers are going to ask, what's the difference between using this more cost-effective termination kit and using, say, a high-end calibration kit where you might get some very fancy devices. As you know, each one of these devices costs more than this termination kit. I can say that while each of these devices are rated well over 20 gigahertz, the exact DC accuracy of some of the impedances in them, resistors in them, are slightly off. We have no control over that with the manufacturers of these. And so to help with that, we actually took that into consideration in the instrument. We have a setting here called the calibration impedance. If you take an ohm meter and find that your termination is 50.2 ohms, you can type in 50.2 ohms here, and it will adapt the graph for that kind of termination impedance during the calibration. That comes in very helpful for being able to use a more cost-effective termination strategy for your measurements in labs or manufacturing environments where you might not want to have exposure to these very high-end and expensive calibration kits. The kit also comes on a nice ring binder here with chains, so that you can just keep everything in one place, and you can make those kind of measurements that you need to make.